About 7 months ago, I made a silly little video here about watching my very first wrestling event ever, and now I sit before you having attended my first WWE event ever. Just last week, or possibly 2 weeks ago, depending on how long it takes me to edit this, I got a chance to go to Friday Night SmackDown in Buffalo, New York, and I figured I'd tell you all about my experience. Not only did I get to go to SmackDown on Friday, but I also got back the following morning, like rallied, showered, got back in the car, and then made our way out to Vestal, and I went to my first indie event ever. And that whole situation will be a totally separate video, and I am just like chomping at the bit to get it out to everybody because it was such a cool and like transformative experience for me. The indie show was very special and I'm excited to talk about it. But today, we're going to talk about SmackDown. Now, if you're looking for an in-depth play-by-play of like how each match went and my feelings on each one, this is probably going to be more of like my experience and like seeing everyone in the flesh for the first time and everything else. So let's be real. If you've been to this channel before, you're not coming here for an in-depth professional analysis of wrestling. You're coming here to watch me experience it all for the first time. So this video will be just a lot of me talking about my time and interspersing some clips and some photos in where I can. Now, before I get into the actual night itself, I need to sort of tell you how the night started because I feel like maybe it was an important lesson for me. If you do not have an interest in hearing the laundry list of reasons of why I'm an idiot, then you can go down to the below timestamp. I will try to remember to do that. But if you do like laughing at people's misery, then keep on watching. Get on in here. Typically, I am the person who plans things when we go to conventions and different events. I'm usually the one who's organizing. But this time, our friends bought the tickets. They had already been to a WWE event before. They kind of knew what they were doing. And they were like, all right, we're going to get an Airbnb. We're going to Uber to the event so that we don't have to worry about parking. And we're going to have a great time. And I was like, great. That sounds amazing. Thank you so much for planning it. So we drive all the way up to Buffalo. It's about 2 hours for where we are. And we get there, Airbnb's fine. And we Uber to the event and we're starting to go inside, right? Now, I wanted to film everything, right? This was my first experience. I'd been filming us getting ready. I'd been filming our travels to Buffalo. And so I get in there and I'm filming the KeyBank Center and I'm just so excited. I have AJ, who is my like film man editor who's been helping me. He's also one of my best friends. And so he's filming. Now, those of you who are smarter than me probably already see exactly where this is going, but let me just describe how this played out for me. Because my friend bought the tickets, he scans them through and he walks through the metal detector before us. And we are about to go through the metal detector when one of the ushers comes over and she notices AJ's bag. Somehow she doesn't notice me. I have my camera out, right? And it's a Canon M50 or something. It's a pretty simple DSLR, but I've got my camera out, but she sees AJ's bag and she goes, is that a camera in that bag? And she kind of like gestures over to this guy who's already through the metal detectors, another usher, and they kind of like do this look back and forth. And he's like, no, we really, you really can't have cameras in here. You really shouldn't have cameras. It's a live televised event. And like, Of course I can't have a camera in there. Why? Why didn't I think about that? Considering my experience thus far of trying to just upload YouTube videos with any kind of WWE content in them, like I should have known, and that was very stupid of me, but I was just blinded by my excitement. So she says, okay, no big deal. You're just going to have to go put your cameras back in your car and then come on through, because once you're through and your tickets are scanned, you can't go back out. And if you're paying any attention in this story right now, you'll realize that our friend already scanned our tickets through. So now our tickets are on the other side of the metal detector that we cannot go through because we have cameras. It like hurts to remember a little bit. We explained to this very nice lady, hey, I can't put my cameras in the car because we just Ubered here and our tickets are on the other side already. And she kind of gives us she was very nice and very sympathetic. She had to have known we were at our first event because there's no way we'd have done this anyway. And she was like, listen, just make sure when you come back, like Uber back, and then come back through my line and I will recognize you. And I was like, okay, but our Airbnb is 20 minutes away. Like, it's going to take us a little while. How long will you be here? And she says, I'll be here all night. And I believed her. So because it's my fault that we are filming in this area, I take AJ's camera, I take my camera, and I get the heck out of there. My husband comes with me because he's not going to let me just run around Buffalo at night by myself. We order an Uber. The first Uber sits in traffic for 10 minutes because, mind you, everyone is trying to park and get an Uber in this area. It's a huge event. And so the Uber sits in traffic for 10 minutes and then drops us. He decides it's not worth his time. So we have to then wait another 10 minutes to order and acquire another Uber. So by the time this all goes down, we get back to the event center and it's just about 5 after. And so we book it towards the metal detectors. All the ushers are looking at us being like, you have to scan your tickets. And we realize that the woman who said she would be there all night was in fact not there anymore. We proceed to explain our situation to 3 or 4 different ushers before they finally call over the manager, and I'm gonna shout him out. He's not watching this right now, I guarantee it. But Ian, you saved our asses that night. Thank you so much. So Ian hears us out. He believes us because it's true, and he lets us go through. And not only does he let us go through, but in our hurry to get to where we were supposed to be, because we're already missing the beginning of the show, Josh forgets his smartwatch in the like metal detector bucket. And so when he runs back downstairs, Ian had already had it like in his pocket ready to give back to us. So that is kind of the setup for the night. But as I get in there, we get in, we grab some water, right? Because we've just been running all over town. We get in there, and I see the arena, and we've already missed Roman's entrance and Jay's entrance, and we're just coming in as Sammy is coming in, and like the just energy of it all completely washes all of the negative stuff away. We find our friends, we get into our seats, which are pretty decent seats. They're not like down by the ring or anything, but like we have a great view of the ring. And it's just to see the Jumbotron with the SmackDown logo, and the stage is here and the ring is here, and just seeing this all in person. And then right in the middle of it is Roman Reigns and Jay and Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn. And I'm like, holy shit. I think what was extra fun is that there was a girl sitting behind us, and I'm so sorry I never got her name, but she was also at her first show for the very first time, and she had just gotten into wrestling like pretty recently during the year. I think a little more recent than I had. And she was there with her partner. Let me tell you, that girl, there's no way she had a voice the next day. She also may have had a few libations.
Uda and I might have had a libation or two on the bus.
Considering what she was saying about having a few libations prior to the show, but she was having such a great time. So we talked on and off with her the whole time. She was really there for Pretty Deadly. She had this whole sign that was like, push the Pretty Deadly. And so when they came out, it was like especially hilarious to be next to her, but she was awesome. Overall, the rest of the section I was sitting with felt kind of quiet, and I did see some memes about the show after of like the crowd being kind of lackluster. And it was hard to tell because maybe it was just my section that I was noticing because we were really loud. The girl behind us was really loud and I couldn't really hear anything else. But most of the people like in front of us and to the left of me, they weren't really like doing a whole lot of yelling and dancing and screaming like we were. Like we were definitely the most into it out of everyone in our section, it felt like. Something else that didn't even occur to me was going to be the case when I got there is like, you don't get commentary, right? That's something strictly they have for TV. So I couldn't hear any of the commentators. So when the match is actually going on, it's kind of weirdly quiet. Like you've got the crowd noises and you've got the noises of the people in the ring, but you really don't get the full experience that I feel like you get when you watch it on TV, which in that same vein was interesting because you have the Jumbotron up top that has most of the good like camera TV angles, but then you've got the ring down below. And I actually found myself more often watching the Jumbotron because it had all the good angles and the close-ups. But at that point it felt sort of counterintuitive because then I was like, well, I'm here in person. I should watch the actual ring. If I wasn't here, why would I watch the Jumbotron? But it was kind of confusing to figure out like, where should I look for the best experience? It was very odd. I ended up looking between both depending on what the heck was happening, but it's just something I didn't think of when I initially had thought about this experience. Something else that I thought was really funny, it was very much this glimpse behind the curtain of how they do entrances and balance those with commercial breaks, because that didn't even occur to me. So like my first experience is Randy Orton comes out, and I'm losing my mind. I can put some footage in here somewhere. Randy comes out, we all stand up, we're screaming, we're freaking out. This man is huge in person, and this was a very like starstruck moment for me, I feel, because I love Randy. So he walks out, he comes down the aisle to his entrance, and then we go to commercial break, and the entire ring goes dark, and Randy is just just pacing in a circle around the ring for like 2 minutes. I guess I kind of assumed that during those commercial breaks there was like gonna be more crowd interaction, and I didn't expect a lot to happen because you don't want to miss it on TV. I just kind of thought that like literally everything just like paused, and I kind of thought it would just continue and we'd listen to his theme song for an extra long time and he'd do a lot of, I don't know, it was very interesting to watch. Another one that was particularly noticeable for this was when Pretty Deadly came out, and like the disco ball comes down and they do their fun little entrance and their hair's blown in the wind. And then we went to commercial break and everything stopped and they just like walked onto the ring. I mean, in character, they walked to the ring, and then we come back like a minute later and the music bumps back up and they continue doing their little like stuff in the ring, and it looks like it's been seamless and it looks like the crowd has just been enjoying this extra long intro the whole time, but in reality it stopped and started, and I didn't think that was a thing, and I found it really fascinating. That's pretty much what I learned about the production of it all. And as far as the production goes and like being there for the pyrotechnics and to feel the energy of the crowd and to hear the music and like really feel the music, because those speakers, they're loud. I would do that again in a heartbeat. It was so fun. I can absolutely see myself going to more and more of these events. I would love to go to a PLE. I think that would be, I like can't even imagine. My hope is that Raw comes closer to us, because fun fact, Raw was supposed to be my very first WWE event that I saw live. And for the first time in 4.5 years, I just happened to get COVID that weekend, so I could not go. Anyway, the matches themselves were super cool. I think the first thing we had was Bayley and Candice, and I don't really only seen Candice a few times. I think I'm told she was coming up from maybe NXT, if I had to remember correctly. Someone can tell me in the comments. But that was fun. I love Bayley. Seeing her in the flesh just like kicking ass was the coolest thing ever. She was really hype. Everyone was excited to see her in the crowd. So again, you just kind of feed off the energy of the crowd, which was awesome. The next match, well, it wasn't really a match actually. It was more of an altercation between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Like I said, seeing Randy in the flesh, absolutely just a surreal experience. And then I do think I got my reaction to this on film, because I was still filming with my phone. You're allowed to do that. And being able to see some of the cool behind the scenes moments before the camera catches it is really, that was really neat. I thought it was going to ruin it for me. I was like, man, the camera angles are kind of half of it. But being able to see Kevin like appear, and I think I was like, oh my God, he's already here. Like, oh shit, he's already here. That was so exciting for me. I also got to experience that moment of, oh my God, is he actually injured, when Kevin dropped Randy and he hurt himself, and we got to see the whole like stretcher thing happen.
Oh no, I actually can't tell if Rambo is okay.
I was just really hoping my first time at a wrestling event was not the time that someone actually like gets hurt or like breaks their spine or something. So, seems like that was meant to happen, and that was kind of cool to experience. I think I've already said this, but Pretty Deadly and DIY, watching Pretty Deadly come out and have the disco ball going, and just all of that was super fun. The girl behind me having a great time watching her favorite people come out. It was a squash match, but I still like seeing them in the ring. Hopefully they win one of these days. Not that they need to. I think they're fun in their own right, but I like what's happening with DIY right now too. So it makes sense. It makes sense the way this happened. The next match, I gotta say, there is something about experiencing Jade Cargill's entrance in person. Like, it's already so hype to see it on TV, but to have the lights come down and the spotlight comes in, and then all of the like glittery, holy shit.
Did I have a stroke?
All of the glittery snowflakes that happen, and then just to see her silhouette was like, oh, chef's kiss. It was so good. And then to immediately be followed up by Bianca, we're already on our feet, right? We're just so hype about Jade. And then Bianca comes out. It's that like really hype music. We're all dancing. At least our row was dancing. Everyone else in the crowd our section was kind of lame, but we were having a great time. And then to see Naya and Tiffy was also super fun. If you couldn't guess, I didn't have a bad time. I have a really hard time having a bad time at these events and watching wrestling. I'm having a great time. It was also fun to get to see Naomi coming out kind of before the cameras caught her. I did watch it afterwards. I watched some highlights on TV, and you didn't see her coming at all, but I got to see her run down the whole stage. It was awesome. Motor City Machine Guns. This was my first time actually seeing them wrestle because I missed a couple SmackDowns, but they seem really hype. Everyone in the crowd seemed to really like them. Seeing A-Town Down Under in person was also really fun, but it was a good match. I didn't have any particular thoughts. It was a good time. And then, of course, the original Bloodline reuniting, getting to be there in person for that, getting to stand up, fingers in the air with all four of them in the ring, like, OTC, OTC, OTC. Watching Sammy kick Solo. Afterwards, there was this moment where the cameras cut. I believe this was after the cameras cut, and Sammy's shoe had flown off when he kicked Solo, and so Roman picks it up and like unties it for him and presented it to Sammy. So that was super fun to watch in person, and some of these little things you just don't get when things go off air. Speaking of that, I got to learn a new term, which was a dark match. So I assume this happens at every event. I'm not sure, but we got to see a dark match, which is super cool. And I did get a couple videos of this because I was really excited. So it was Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, and Ludwig. So it was a 6-man match. It was really short, which I imagine most of these are because they really got to start like tearing down the ring and traveling to their next event. But just super cool, like extra content to see that I was not expecting going into this. So that was really neat. They also did this thing at the end, which I typically will see on Instagram, but I never knew when it happened at shows. But they brought on this girl. They were like giving away belts and stuff. And then they brought in this girl who had been battling stage 4 cancer and kind of gave her moment. And I thought that was really, really nice. So all in all, just like very heartwarming to see. And then after that, Cody stayed around for, gosh, I think he left after we did. We left the ring before he did, and we stuck around quite a while. But he stayed, and he was like hanging out with the people down there and just like schmoozing with the crowd, which I thought was really cool. All in all, the vibe of the entire thing was just so... It's kind of similar to when I go to like a convention, a gaming convention, or a speedrunning event, or the Renaissance Fair. It was such a nice sense of community where you felt safe with all these people. And maybe that's a misconception, but it was nice to see that everyone, like no one looked at you for like yelling about something or dancing to the music. Like everyone sort of agrees that we're all here to be a little bit weird together. And I feel like those are the most special places to be, is where you can just be with your community. And it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from or what wrestlers you prefer. everyone's sort of on the same page of like, we're going to enjoy this as loudly and as passionately as possible. And I feel like that sense of community was even further enforced when I went to the indie event, which I don't want to spoil too much because I have I think it's going to be a long video coming in the next few weeks about it. But it was special. It was very special. It very much solidified this sense of community and this thing that I love now. On that same topic, I just wanted to give a quick thank you. I know half of you are here for wrestling and now half of you, maybe more than half of you, are here for gaming content because my channel just surpassed 10,000 subscribers, which is, I don't even know how to explain how that is to me. For some context, last year about this time, my goal was to hit 200 subscribers on my channel by the end of the year. That was a year ago. So to surpass 10,000 is like beyond me. So a sincere thank you if you've stuck with me for the last 7 months, or if you're just joining. I'll be making more wrestling content. I'll be making more gaming content. I'll be making some stuff in between. I just want you to know how appreciative I am. I've been making content a long time, and for people to see it and like it and want to see more of it is new in that sense, or at least so many people. So that's very special to me, and I really, really, really appreciate it. That's enough of me blabbing. I will end this here. Although not before I slide in a cute little bonus thing that we did. After we got done with the event, it was, again, one of my best friend, AJ, the cameraman, the editor extraordinaire. It was his idea to sit down at a table with our pizza. It's like midnight, and all of us sort of recap how we felt about the show. And so it's a fun little bonding experience for us. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to slap it in at the end here. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye. Hello. Welcome to, I guess, a debrief in literally the worst lit room I can imagine. This is the worst lighting.
I can fix it post.
No, don't. Make it worse. So this is our post-event pizza debrief, I suppose.
Oh my god, it's not like you popped a balloon.
Did you pop a lung?
Yeah, seriously.
We have not had any libations, so I don't know why we're like this.
Oh, they did.
Oh wait, you guys did, but it was a while ago. We can't
Not
blame
well,
anything
3
on
hours ago.
libations right now. I think
I'm still feeling it.
Are you? How did
It's a big
everyone
beer.
feel? How was your SmackDown?
The beginning was not fun.
No.
She already did a debrief of it.
Yeah, totally.
I think you did.
No, I definitely at this point in the video will have already told people how I'm fucking stupid. How
No.
was the rest of it for everybody?
Phenomenal.
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 To be honest, like
Phenomenal.
my history with wrestling is only going to when we were kids going to live events back when Triple H and Batista were all active. But this was my first ever like SmackDown, so my first ever big show. So I give it 10 out of 10.
Josh?
Yeet. Yeah, I think it was really good. Yeet.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed just about every moment of it.
Yeet.
I thought that I really liked the there was a lot of tag team matches today.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was almost exclusively tag team matches. It might have been exclusively, if I'm thinking about it right. Who wasn't? Oh, Bailey and
Yeah.
Candice DeBaby.
Yep.
It's weird. We talked about it a little bit, but like it's kind of weird when you don't have the casters like
So weird.
talking over the match. So all you just hear is very faint like thud.
So what we need to do next time
Mhm.
is you need to bring little headsets and little radios.
Cast
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
own.
And you can watch it on your phone. Hear what
Mhm.
they're saying while you're actually watching it. A
Yeah.
lot of sports people do that.
But the
Oh.
best part is though, the wrestling community is a wonderful community. So anyone you sit next to, you always have a good time.
Everyone was so chill. Like, I guess I'm not surprised because online, my experience, everyone
All of
has
you.
been, all of you have been so wonderful and so kind and just like very welcoming, and that like was very much the environment, especially in a time right now where like things are very stressful. You don't really like all people. It was nice to like
Oh, I
forget
didn't.
about that
and just like be with people who were there for the same thing, and it didn't matter who you were or what you were, whatever. Like that girl behind it, there was, I probably already talked about her at this point, but like, there was a girl behind us that was at her first wrestling show also. She had a few libations.
Was she?
Oh yeah, she at one point, Maddie and I heard her go, "I've had so much to drink in this
That's so funny.
The best part about
That's so
her
funny.
though is like you wouldn't think it was her first time.
No, oh my god, she was so
If
into
you're watching,
it.
you know who you are, and we love you.
She did say she was subscribed to my YouTube channel, so if you were behind me at the show, you were wonderful. I never got your name, but thank you for just being so sweet.
Both of you.
Yes, both of you and your future fiance, because she was saying when they get, I don't know if you heard this part, she was like, when we get engaged, can we celebrate at a wrestling show? And I was like, I love you so much.
What was your favorite match of the night? We'll go around the table. Just say what your favorite match was.
Maddie?
Look at the camera.
The Nia Jax one.
That was mine
That
too.
was a tag team match.
The
Yeah.
tag team.
That was
mine
really
too.
good.
It was really good. I'm biased with the women's matches, but that was
Wow.
my match
Also,
of the night.
I love Jade Cargill's like entrance when she walked through the like
Oh,
sheet
she-
of stuff. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Like, don't get me wrong. It's like all those like every wrestler is like awesome and like have their like larger than life personality, but seeing him live is just so
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah.
Mine isn't a match.
I don't even know where you're going with.
Mine was the whole
Oh.
bloodline
Oh,
segment.
well,
I mean,
From
yeah.
start to finish.
Uh-huh.
it was a
That
good.
was
It was a
good.
great segment, but I will say, my favorite match was the Bianca Belair Jade Cargill tag team match. But my favorite part of the whole night would be the United States reveal
Oh, yes.
of the
Oh,
women's
yes.
title.
Be there for that
About
announcement
About
was
time.
almost
That's
as
so-
good as being there
Too
when like
late.
Paul Heyman came
Just
back.
wait for Raw.
I know.
I'm so excited.
Women's
Intercontinental,
Intercontinental
I bet ya.
Oh my god.
prediction and
About
like guaranteed. About
About
damn
time.
time.
At this point, when this goes out, it will already have been announced if it's gonna be on Raw. So
Oh,
like,
for sure.
let it know. Let it be known. This
We
was
called it
three
first.
days before.
What date is it? It's 11:59, November 8th.
Yeah,
Okay.
just barely
2025.
November 8th
You
still.
know what's also
2025.
really cool about the show?
Yeah.
When the fucking Rock showed up.
Yo, that
was
was sick.
The
Was-
Rock
okay.
Give us the eyebrow.
So
I was there.
before we went,
The Pebble.
you were like, I've heard some rumors.
Yeah.
Were all the rumors you heard true? None of them true? What did you hear and what
Oh,
do you
yeah.
think was going to happen?
So the big one was that Dwayne was gonna make an appearance, which I was
Damn.
like,
I was
and
recording.
the
hoping.
people that were saying it, I mean, they made some good points of how he would be there or why he would be there. But then I'm like, he would never show up in Buffalo. I mean, he did that one year, way back when Joey went.
Legends Night.
Yeah, but, like,
Robert
I
Fall
didn't-
celebration.
I didn't think that was gonna happen, but I'm like, man, it'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Paul Heyman.
I was really
I was
wrong.
really-
I thought if anything, it would have been Paul Heyman more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
But those were really the only two, and that
Mhm.
one really.
My favorite moment
I think I know.
was when Randy came out.
I think everyone was
Oh.
hyped.
That was so
What a
cool to see him like in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
His
But
thighs
then,
are.
but then for him to
bigger
get
than
absolutely
like-
fucked,
Mm.
No.
it's
That
sad.
was a really
He
good
did that.
segment.
Yeah,
There was there was less talking.
yeah.
It was quick.
Also, he
And
swore on
effective.
live like,
Yeah.
Did he?
television. He
Yeah.
said shit.
Yeah.
Randy.
Shit's not a word you can use on live television.
But
Naughty boy.
and plus the build up to it, like when Kevin just ran to the ring, everyone
Yeah.
was just so.
Oh,
fucking
so hyped.
So
That was really cool.
One more thing that was really cool was a fuck you solo chance witnessing it live.
Oh,
I do.
yeah, that was
Usually they
hilarious.
cut it out when you're watching
Yeah.
on TV,
Yeah.
but hearing it in live, and there
Him
was that little boy that was in
screaming.
front of me, he was saying it. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh shit.
It's part
Oh,
of it.
I would if I had a child and
I'd be
they
like,
went to
you
a wrestling
say
show.
fuck you
That's-
solo.
Yeah, I'd be like,
that's
you
how
can
we
say
were.
whatever.
I
I
mean,
know.
like that's what my dad did for us when we were kids. He's just like when we all watched wrestling together, he would encourage all that shit.
I
Yeah.
had that fucking lady laughing her ass off.
Oh, the one in front of you?
Oh, yeah, she
she
was
seemed
having
like
a
she
good
was a
time.
good time,
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
Wrestling fans are awesome. Yeah, I don't know. It was a 10 out of 10. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with you guys. Thank you again for organizing it. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
you.
you.
So,
All of you.
not to interrupt,
Mm.
but next year I bet you, because I think they alternate. So I wouldn't be
Raw
surprised if
would
Raw
be
comes.
coming?
So Raw came last year to Buffalo when it was on her birthday and we couldn't make it.
Go to Raw.
Go to
So I
Raw.
wouldn't be surprised if
Hey.
next year's Raw.
If we could
Would
save
love.
up, maybe we can get front seats.
I want to get
I would
closer.
I'm gonna.
We had good
spend-
seats.
Seats were really good.
Oh,
But
I'm
it would be
impressed.
fun.
Love
Yeah, very
the seats.
close.
I would dress up as Seth again if Seth's still on
I
Raw
would,
at
yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna dress up as the final boss.
No. I'm gonna
Hell
dress
yeah.
up as Randy, man.
I like that.
As long as
Some guy named Randy.
Who's Randy?
Not or
I
Who's
was like,
Randy,
you
man?
can go Randy Orton, Randy Savage.
No.
Just Randy.
Randy.
Just Randy.
Randy man.
Randy from down the
Deal.
road.
So that was it. We had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you all had a great time watching this.
Mhm.
Thanks for being you.
This
is great pizza.
Really. I got a fart, dude. I got a fart, bro.
Cut.
This cut a long time ago. Round of applause.
Yeah, that was nice.